プラズマプロダクションプレゼンツプラズマバースポッドキャスト。
Hey everyone, Filippo here, and today we got a friend of mine. We know each other since 2019, Matteo Bertoli, DP and also director, born as a filmmaker, and it feels weird, talking each other in English because we are both Italian, but for our audience, we'll be talking in English. So, Matteo, talk a bit about your background, how you started making, this job, how you became a DP and also a director, and just talk a bit about you, just to introduce yourself.
Yes, hi everybody, I'm Filippo. After a while that we didn't see each other, COVID and all of that, so thanks for having me. I started basically making films, video when I was like university actually, because I used to DJ before becoming a DJ, and then I went to university in Italy. I went because there was like because of radio, because I was a DJ, and then during the first year you have to do a bunch of things. There was video editing as well, so I found out about video editing, and then from there I started basically editing news for local TV in my hometown, Brescia. And from there, of course, you need footage to edit, so you start to film your stuff yourself, and then of course in Italy, you don't really have a budget to hire a camera operator or a DP. So when you need to shoot a video, you need to learn how to do it. So, and basically, I started with a T2i 500D Canon, and I started naturally doing after movie in clubs because all my network was in the clubs. And from there, I moved to music video because naturally, again, clubs, DJ, they usually make music as well. So I started making music video for DJ, then a little bit pop singer, small artist. And then from there, I moved to corporate video, a little bit documentaries, commercial, and that's pretty much what I'm still doing. I shot a couple of feature films, a couple of short documentary, short films, like all this bunch of stuff. Now, my goal is still trying to do narrative, because I'm not a big fan of like corporate video. I mean, it's cool because they pay the bill, but creatively they're not that interesting. But I have to do it. But the goal is narrative.
Yeah, and also it's called Psychosynthesis. It's also available on Prime, Amazon Prime. Yeah, you can watch some works from Matteo on his own website, obviously matteobertoli.me. He shot tons of video. He also had a YouTube channel with different videos, really interesting in my opinion. He also has a course. He also had a really interesting lot, and also the old battery scenario where you launched the first battery lot. It was 2018 or 17?
Battery lots actually was April 2019.
19. Okay.
And I had my production company called Battery Fields, and we called them. I mean, they were called differently, and then we just switched everything. It's like, when you first started this thing, we kind of did it as a joke, and then it became kind of a big thing. So we rebranded a little bit, but Battery Arts, 2019. That one, that was a cool thing, and the YouTube channel too, because it grew a little bit. I mean, even YouTube started becoming a little bit more serious around 2019. Because when you see like, and I'm a pretty not controversial, but I go a lot against the YouTube trend.
Yeah, I see
as we say, like because in a world where like nowadays people are asking me, how can you shoot a video if you don't have autofocus or if you don't have, and I'm like, guys, so when we started, it's been 100 years that we're pulling focus manually and all this kind of stuff. So, but it's a cool thing. It's a niche. There's not a lot of people, but it's a little cool niche of people that care about real filmmaking, and I think it's a cool community, met a lot of people. So
for sure. It's also things that I always admire, about you, the fact of not overproducing things. Like tons of people like are creating like problems that doesn't even exist sometimes. One of the first things that we talk about when we met each other and the first Blackmagic, this was the Pocket 4K. And I remember that it was like one of the first models here in Italy. I remember calling Atcom and we met each other. And I remember you saying like, I use those vintage lenses because they are cool, flare are cool, glare is cool, everything about them is cool. And, you know, fuck lens up $10,000, you know, those works fine, those are okay. And you guys can also find some interesting things also about, you know, practical filmmaking on Matteo's channel. And the thing that I think we could discuss hours about this, but a practical thing that people can find is the fact that there are few videos that you might have done with maybe a small crew, but still seems, you know, high-end commercial, you know, done by, you know, a crew of like 20, 30 people, you know, and that's one of the main focus that you also put on your YouTube videos when you just... I admire the one where you talk about the image stabilizer. You know, who fucking cares about the image stabilizer? I'm on the same size on that, you know, when, I don't know, I'm maybe with an Helios and people is like, you don't have image stabilization. Who fucking care about image stabilization? You know, it's overrated.
Yeah, that's actually one of the main things. People are like, how can you use vintage lenses because they don't have image stabilization? And I mean, I get it that nowadays, you know, to shoot events and stuff. But even there, you know, I shot so many events and so many weddings with my original Pocket and the Sigma 80 to 35.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't know how to operate a camera, you shouldn't be called a filmmaker, because as far as I know, people still pay me because, of course, they don't hire their grandma to operate a camera. Yeah. You have to have, I think, basic skills, and I think nowadays it's like almost. But maybe this is in photography or in graphic design or in maybe in every aspect, because, you know, now everybody thinks it's easy and they can do it. Technology is definitely pushing in the way. Even, to be honest, there are some business also that you might offer a cool video and they look at you, they're like, I have my iPhone, I film myself, and they make a bunch of views, and so they're happy with that. So, you know, it's like it's a communication thing that is going, I think, a lot into put your face out there, and that's the video.
Yeah,
like beautiful things. I don't think they're awarded anymore. In fact, when I put like a cool just video where I don't talk, this is one of my work on YouTube. You know, they don't do much views, and then you post why I don't give a fuck about how to focus. That's like boom. Or camera review, boom.
Yeah. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's the social game. You know, even I've been bored a lot during latest year. Like, I talked about this maybe 2 weeks ago with a friend of mine. I was like, okay, if we need to like bring people to a link or something, I have to do those fucking videos where I color grade things, and always like minute one where I do like masterclasses live or courses, I say don't watch as my real videos as, you know, the starting point, because I do this just as, I don't know, just to catch your eye and things, but that's not how I work. Normally I just use like 3 nodes because that's the essential thing, or 1 node, but people want to see that. People want to see, you know, the cockpit station with all the lights and all those fucking things. They want to see a camera super rigged, even if you don't need it, maybe even if you're alone, you know. And you might have shot the greatest feature in the world, put it on YouTube, but if you're not talking about like the trends or image stabilization. So yeah, I get it. And also it's why, you know, when I see creators like you or other creators like talking about or just breaking things about like hot topics, I'm like it's totally fine, because you just need to talk a bit about that.
And it goes to my disadvantage, because of course I could have 1 million followers if I was just, you know, using a Sony or doing all the things that people do. but even there, it's not that I'm against Sony or against Canon. Is that in reality, when you check the price of some camera, I'm a Blackmagic user, and Blackmagic is still a niche market because, of course, it doesn't have autofocus or image stabilization, but it's more for like true filmmaker, true cinematographer. But if Sony would come out with a camera that I like, I'll use it, and I'll make a video about it, make a review. Sunday we're shooting a Pocket 6K versus Sony FX30 side by side here in Lisbon with a friend of mine, and that video I already know is gonna have thousands and thousands of views because people care more about gear, I think, than the actual art. But
yeah, also we obviously can see the fact that you have few cinematic iPhone videos on YouTube, and those ones are the ones that explode. You know that, but yeah, that's the way YouTube go. But still, it's good, to see. Even if our audience here listening go to your website, we'll see obviously the quality of the work itself.
Yeah,
and the fact that I really enjoy the fact that you also don't over use lights. You love using a lot of natural light. What's your approach lighting a scene? Just for a curiosity of mine and of our audience, because just by looking also the beautiful stills that you put on the website, I can see that tons of them have just a subtle touch of extra light, especially the exteriors, but there is a lot of natural light used and like blended. How you normally light a scene? What are your steps?
I try to don't do anything. Sometimes you have a lot of gear, a lot of lights, but I start with natural light, and if I like it, I'll just go for it. I shot a feature film in. There's nothing much out because they're still editing, I think, after almost a year or something. But yeah, I shot a feature film there at the gaffer, got a bunch of gear, and I remember because the gaffer was like, "Man, that's awesome." I'm not doing anything. We were, location were cool. The lights is cool. Sometimes I use the curtains from a window, and of course, if I need a light, I use it. But I try to use the minimal as possible because you always get into the danger of motivation. And that's the job of the DP, is motivating a light. So if you can get away with it, but sometimes, even some big movies, like this girl lost in the forest, and there's this light that you don't know where it's coming from. So I try not to do much. If I need to, I put a light or two. Of course, if you need to light a church for a gigantic feature film, that's another story. You have the big toys, whatever. But at that point, I'm not even sure you're lighting it yourself. It's like you have a 6, 7, 8, 9 gaffer grip, and you're like, hey, I need a little bit of soft light, and then they kind of know what they're doing already. But no, otherwise, I just, I start with everything off, and if I need, I turn some lights on. Always soft light.
Yeah.
Maybe bouncing it, maybe doing this thing. But and the other thing that I do, which saves a lot of time, especially in feature film, is lighting up the space instead of the scene. So I light the space, so I don't have to touch anything anymore. And on close up, if I need a little reinforce, I'll put it there. But my technique is not my technique. Is Bright for Young use it. All the top DP, they light the space so they can move freely inside it. So that's the approach that I really like.
Yeah, and I also can see that you like soft light, because also on your stills, on your production, I can always see your touch on the roll-off. I remember talking to you about, I don't know, it was that Blackmagic, and you talked a lot about the roll-off on the skin tone and how you put a lot of focus into that, and I can really see that a lot. So I knew that you moved a lot during these years. What was your from Italy then, or where you went the first time?
Oh, from Italy, I went to California, and some people ask me why, and the reason is extremely simple. My dad was working as a freelance, and I was basically seeing how much taxes he was paying and how desperate he was. And I remember I opened a partita IVA in Italy, and after 1 year, the accountant called me. and it was an insane amount of taxes. Even if it was, I pay and I bought a ticket for California. That's why I left. So we went to California for 6 months. We tried to get a investor visa there. Denied. So from there we moved to Dublin, Ireland for 1.5 years, where I worked for a production company pretty much full time. So we stayed there 1.5 years, and then from there I applied randomly for a job in Orange County, California, for an agency, and they hired me. Crazy enough, they waited for me for 1 year, and then I moved to America there with my O1 visa. Then the company, after 8 months, shut down. Like all those little agency in America shut down. So I moved to Utah for 1 year full time again, back to California, laid off again, and then from there I opened my own business. And then the last 2 years in America I was in Florida, Tampa Bay, which was cool, growing a lot. And then from there I decided to move back to Europe because cost in America was getting out of control, and I was able to establish a network of international clients and lots of stock footage, YouTube, and all these online income that allow me to stay in a place like Portugal, which costs not much. The good taxation for foreign business, and I still have my American clients. That Europe is cool, so everybody's gonna come to Europe at some point to shoot something. And if I have to go back to America to shoot a feature film or something, I can do it. There's definitely less video work, I feel like, here. But in Europe in general, compared to America, I think America is a medium market that doesn't exist in Europe. Like, you can make a crap ton of money in America on a medium market. Like, I remember even like a first AC, there was a production coming to town to film an NBA player. They need an assistant. $2,000, 3 hours. Like, you can charge them whatever you want in those kind of medium market. And LA and New York, it's a different story because there's 30 million filmmakers there. So it's like, but
you say like that if you throw you said that if you throw a rock on the here, you will eat DP.
You eat the filmmaker
or a filmmaker. Yeah.
In LA, everybody want to go to LA, but the reality is that you're gonna find people that they're gonna try to, hey, can you come for $200? And if you don't go, there's another guy that maybe just arrived from Germany and he is willing to work for not much, even if it's a good, and the level is pretty good. It's not American. They come from all over the world to LA or New York and try to become the next Sorrentino. But I wish in Europe there was this medium market, which is not small and it's not big, where you can make a crap ton of money. I wish it was bigger, because in America you really have a good opportunity to work and to sustain yourself, where in Italy it's always a fight, even in Portugal, even in Spain. When you ask people $1,000 for euros for a video, they look at you like, is that really a job?
Yeah, there is not the medium side, and that's totally true. I think that tons of people listening could relate to this. I also knew some people from LA born around there that they are, I don't know, they are not kind of on the I don't know. I see people's like I don't know if I can mention him, but really flexing shit tons of money on production that I'm like, how the fuck could they put that amount of money on that production? Yeah, people. You probably know tons of them that are also YouTubers and stuff, and I can't really understand how maybe on music videos, on production like this, and that's a thing that doesn't exist here. It doesn't actually exist in Italy. I'm 100% aware of this, and that's why I like abandoned some kind of production here, because like you take something that you do maybe passively with courses and things in a day or two, and it doesn't also give you that much. There is not also a really good vibe, and sure.
No, the corporate market in America is crazy, but simply because there's more money, and also this is the thing that I keep pushing on, because people don't realize it. When a company pays 10% taxes, and not 69, 70, which is the case for some corporation in Europe, they have the money to invest in video, and not being with the, oh, but I have to pay taxes. Like, because my brother has a company now, and every 3 months, 20,000, 30,000, 20,000, 30,000. And of course, he can't, do anything. You can't invest, and you can't expand. We're in America.
Mm-hmm.
They have the option to throw some money in real production.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, I want to ask you this because I think we will have the same vision on this thing. What might be your like piece of advice to someone that is starting out right now, no matter where he is? And I think we will have the same vision because things like we talked about that's 2 seconds about AI. We talked about tons of things during this year, but I think that right now things are getting simpler on some ways and maybe harder on others. But what you will give to someone like 16 years old, saying I want to start over right now filmmaking, or I don't know what to do, what to purchase,
No, I think,
what to do, yeah, especially.
yeah. No, I think it's super important, despite the American model, which is everybody has their own place. So if you're a gaffer, you're a gaffer. So some people in America, they're director, they can't DP. I think you should learn how to do literally everything, because I think going forward, the key is going to be, companies are realizing they don't need to spend millions of dollars. Of course, if you want to do a big production, but even there, unless you want to really, like doing planes that crash and car chasing and all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, for a very cool video that can look like a $500 million budget, whatever, you don't need that much. I think, my advice is learn how to do everything from start to finish. Mm-hmm. So operate a camera, DP, directing, work with actor, editing, color grading. Because if you can keep everything by yourself, you can go to the client, you can keep all the work for yourself, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And budgets are gonna shrink. They are shrinking. Like even in big production, they're going down. There's not the era of hey, I have $60,000 for like. They don't exist anymore. Mm-hmm. But if you can do everything by yourself and kind of be your own production company, yeah, you can hire a gaffer, you can hire an AC if you need it. But if you can keep all the process by yourself, I think it's good money, because company going to spend less. But if instead of 100, they give you 20 for you, you can make it work and make some pretty good money. And I think learning how to do it, and even YouTube, building an audience, super important, I think, because as you said before, you can do the most beautiful film in the world, and if nobody watch it, what are you gonna do? So building an audience for sure, and become your own production company and learn how to do everything. And I think that's the key. So you can go to even small clients and say, hey, you have $2,000? Cool. One day shoot, half day editing, it's out. Mm-hmm. I think that's gonna be the future, and I feel lucky because even the last couple of jobs, it was one-man band, but pretty good margin because the client was American. If I was in America, they would be like, oh no, because I have to hire this one. So I think our Italian school now, which is do everything by yourself, is gonna be the one-man band kind of thing. I think is gonna be not necessarily the future for all the production, because it can still be the huge production, but as I told you before, I think everything is going down. Even the economy, I don't know where it's heading, but it could be good, could be bad. But I think it's a good spot to be.
Okay. And about your studies on your career, you have one of your you have a mentor or someone who you think that teach you something important, or you made like I don't want to say a course, like a study or something that was really important to you, or you just have a mentor. There was a moment in your life where you felt that someone or something happening was giving you a lot. I don't know, something like. For me, maybe I never went to film school, so I have a few mentors online, but where you take the most of your knowledge, maybe on the early days.
No, it's more like a experience. I keep working and keep solving stuff. by yourself. I don't have a mentor. I don't have anyone I ever, work with. That I was like, oh wow, that's cool. I mean, shot some behind the scenes, so I saw some people were working. Nothing crazy, but I always try even not to get. For example, I don't really follow any top DP anymore. I don't know. I felt like you can take 5 of the top DP in the world, a commercial. I'm talking about movies and other things, and you take the Instagram and they all look the same. So I feel there's this lately there's this trend where like everybody's trying to copy the same thing. So I always try to stay to not having like mood inspiration, whatever. I mean, a mood maybe from movies, but otherwise I try not to copy or to get inspired by anyone, because otherwise you kind of fell into the circle where you're basically doing everything looks the same. But in terms of university, I can't say it didn't help because it made me discover video. Yeah, there was some practice there, not much. I would say that the biggest experience is just getting a camera, going out there and trying to solve your things. Try to get a couple of friends. I think it's important to grow up together, like someone that want to be more director, someone that want to be more gaffer. So if you want to shoot a short film, you can call those 2 people, get together. This is something that I missed because even moving a lot, maybe I developed a connection here, then there, and it's cool because I still have them, but I never had the chance to grow up with, for example, most of the top DP, they start in university. They go to university. I feel university is better for connection, especially in America. And then basically they start working with this director. And this director at some point he takes off and he brings the DP with him. Yeah. So it's all about being lucky with if we're talking about DP. If we're talking about directors, I don't know. But even there, they probably were working with a producer. The producer got hired for a big job and he brought the director with him.
It's always about a connection.
So building a network. Yeah, but it's hard. It's very hard. The easiest part, because the problem is that once you are at a certain point, those people already have their DP. There's no, you can send thousands of emails to production company. Hey, I'm a DP, blah, blah, blah. They will ignore it because they already have people. It's a very saturated market. So that's why my focus now is more going to the client straight and then hire a crew and do the job. So I take the budget and I create production, because otherwise it's tough. Very hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And also, in your opinion, there is like an underrated tool that is indispensable, like for your job, or just the camera. What do you think about that? I know tons of creatives that like can't live without, I don't know, even Matbox or
a monitor or something.
Yeah. You have something that for you is indispensable for your job, or you just need camera and a lens?
No, I would say now I'm totally in love with my Leica R, so I kind of bring them all over, and they're those lenses that you can use them for a corporate video, for a movie, for a commercial, for a documentary. So I honestly always have them with me. Of course, if I go on set where there's already master prime, whatever, no, I don't have anything really. It's like maybe a good viewfinder, but it's not that I own a viewfinder. I mean, it's already on a camera, because I'm liking more and more the viewfinder now than a monitor. And if the camera doesn't have full color, I would say a monitor with full color. But other than that. Maybe I will bring my Pocket 6K in case something goes wrong. Because it happened on a feature film with the psychosynthesis. We actually had a big fail on our Alexa, which was a certified pre-owned Alexa Classic, and it completely shut down in the middle of a feature film towards the end. And we were lucky because we were in LA, so Harry gave us an Amira to finish the movie. But everybody complained about Blackmagic reliability, blah blah blah. But the only camera that failed to me actually was an Alexa. Funny enough.
That's funny enough.
No, I don't have a tool. I don't have a tool. I don't have a.
Oh, okay. Completely agree with that. And you have shot something with Blackmagic for psychosynthesis, or it's fully with Alexa?
No,
Okay.
all Alexa Classic and Amira to
Mira.
finish the movie, and the Optimo Ingenio
Oh yeah,
Optimo Zoom.
incredible.
That movie is on Amazon Prime in the US, but it's on YouTube. You can watch the entire movie on YouTube. They uploaded. I think they bought the rights or something.
Yeah, I'll link to it.
Yeah,
in
if you
the
need a
description.
psychosynthesis movie on YouTube, yeah, you can watch it for free all over the world now. So that's cool.
Great to know. And yeah, the great thing that I saw about it, but if you want to like throw some money to Amazon, just use a VPN if you're from Italy and watch it on Amazon or it's on YouTube. But the cool thing about the movie itself is the continuity. You really did a great job, throwing those kind of vibes on the whole movie. We can see your cinematography from the fact that it's really not hard on lights, really soft. Roll-offs are really soft, and that we can see the Matteo's touch here, and yeah, I knew
That
that
was a cool project.
yeah, it was for sure. You have something to say about it, something interesting about it, or something apart from the Alexa fails. And it's funny enough to know that in America, you can just replace an Alexa so quickly. Here in Italy, you will have to take one off maybe the 5 Alexa available on all Italy. Like, but yeah.
Yeah, the reason also why we were able to do this is because the director on Kroll, he knows guys at Harry, and he bought the certified pre-owned, so it's supposed to be sold with the Harry warranty. So they help us out. But no, it was a it was the best production I ever worked on because it was super fun. It was me, the first AC, and a gaffer, and the director, pretty much camera crew, and it was amazing. It was a very like collaborative kind of thing, super fun, no stress. We never went over time. It was like really an amazing production. We kept things simple. It was cool.
Great. And got a few more questions because before we wrap up the episode. One is, if you could start a business tomorrow, what would it be apart from filmmaking?
Probably, I will start a winery. I guess.
Yeah, I know you like wine.
Winery. I would love to get an estate somewhere with a vineyard and make some wine. I think that'd be cool. And being able to film too. Yeah, you can push marketing, online sale, all this kind of stuff. So it could be a cool business.
How's wine there? It's not it's not as good as our Italian one, the one that you have here in Lisbon.
No, they have a long way to go, I think, but there are some good stuff, some interesting stuff, but they need to do a little bit more research. The stuff is good out there, but in restaurant there's still all the style, house wine, and the typical €6 a bottle of wine.
Okay.
So they need to work a little bit on that, but if I could start another business, it would be that, or then maybe connected to an e-commerce. Even though I wish still to create another digital product because that's the best thing. I mean, of course, you have to market it and you have to push it out there. But when people click a link and they download the product and you're asleep and you get the money, that's like like the courses when they're pre-recorded, but people don't realize that it's cool on one side because it's minimum expenses, but the amount of marketing and pushing that needs is pretty crazy because there's a lot of competition out there, even for courses, for everything. It's hard, and even doing a proper course, it requires so many months of work, many hours, an investment that you're not even sure you're gonna have the return, because at the end of the day, it's not guaranteed unless you have millions of subscribers. They're gonna buy everything from you. But
yeah, for sure, it's a passive cool thing if it works. If not, it's just a pain. You have to push it, and yeah, you don't even know if it will work. Tons of people made millions, with digital products and millions, but not everyone, and that's a matter of fact. And just to close up, there are like three movies or two movies, or how many you want to mention for our audience? You want to recommend?
But new or what I like?
Oh, whatever you like. Maybe movies that you love for personal reasons or for cinematography.
My favorite movie is for sure Top Gun.
Oh God.
The original. I have to say they did a pretty good job with Maverick because it's not easy to. I mean, the original is the original, but it's not easy to get that close.
Yeah.
To the original to make something interesting and cool. Interstellar is another one that I can watch it. I don't know how many times. And third one gonna be probably either Inception or one of these. Catch Me If You Can, maybe.
Yeah.
DiCaprio.
Great classics.
One of his best movies, I think.
I love them.
Yeah. The new one, it's hard because Netflix is distracting me quite a lot.
Yeah.
I'm distracted a lot with how you call it, a show.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's good independent movies. I wish I can. The problem is that I go to the theater and most of the movies are like, and you can't believe how much money they put in there, right?
Yeah.
For a story that is not even that good. So I think Gran Torino also. Gran Torino.
Oh yeah, love that too.
It's one of my favorite too. Great movies. But
great.
Hopefully, there's gonna be more good stuff coming.
Guys, if you haven't saw this, you have few movies to add to your watch list. And last question, where our listeners can find you online, where we want to send our listeners right now.
Yeah, youtube.com/Matteo Bertoli. That's my YouTube channel. And from there, you can find pretty much all my Instagram, Matteo Bertoli.
Yeah.
There's only one Matteo Bertoli thing on. On YouTube. It's not super common name.
Yeah, the other Matteo Bertolis are like lawyers. I saw also volleyball player. Yeah. If you search for Matteo Bertoli on Google, there will be like volleyball player or director of photography. So it's the director of photography one. Go for it. See his products and everything he does on YouTube. Thanks, Matteo, for our chat, and we will be catching ourselves for sure.
One idea could be, you don't do anything in Italian, no?
We could. Possiamo, perché no? Possiamo anche chiudere l'episodio in italiano, chi se ne frega.
No, ma dico proprio a livello di YouTube, secondo me c'è lo dico in inglese, like, there is a big lack of content in Italian regarding filmmaking. A lot of people ask me, why don't you do something in Italian? Why don't you do... at the end, it's true.
Yeah, it's true. We could even because I don't actually follow any like Italian YouTubers that talk about cinematography. There are like filmmakers that try to talk about stuff, but they like.
But there are not many.
No, not many. But the ones they still do like poopy things, and I don't like them. I will be honest with you. There are few, but they are not like quite good as
It could be a potentially good market even for in-person courses.
Yeah.
If you can get some 1,000, even 10,000, 20,000 Italian subscribers.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think about that, but on the other side, I don't know. I always feel like, I don't know, on some parts of the market that
you're limited.
Yeah, you're limited, even because like I don't want to talk bad about our own, our home comrades from Italy, but the level the level is quite low, and that the level is really low. The biggest group that you also have on Facebook and around, the average quality is like wedding videographers, I might say, and so it's really hard to talk freely, about things that people don't quite understand. We are like coming from masterclass that we did yesterday in Bologna, and 20 people there that I think after one day there, some of them were, and I won't say expert, but they knew a lot about resolve procedures and like all the things behind, the process when you work maybe on a documentary or on a movie. But I can say that the 95% of them left Bologna with a really big headache, because it was like, too many information, too many things they don't know, and it's it's like on the other side is like even. I don't know how much I helped them in some ways. Maybe I helped them understanding how much they didn't know about the things. So I think it will be kind of frustrating for tons of them talking about like some specs on YouTube or something Italian. I should do videos, really simple videos maybe, but for them I don't know. I don't want to talk about like tech stuff, cameras, because I don't care about it. But there will be a market. Yeah. So if some
be a market.
Some Italian here is listening to us, just take that portion of market, or we will take it any soon by doing something. Even if I have a channel in English, and with Plasma we have a mainly English channel, we could do something in Italian. Who cares? Let's plan it. Let's plan it for the future.
The problem is that a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because YouTube, you have to be consistent, you have to push, and most of the time it's not even recognizing anything.
Yeah.
But there are some channels that exploded. But what are those channels? Food.
Yeah.
Blogger, they go to business star restaurant, auto review, car review. But filmmaking, maybe a small market, maybe not that small. Who knows?
We will try. Anyway. We will try something in Italian just to test how warm the market is.
Yeah.
Because right now it's all about bullshit that the average of people like, and if you talk at something a bit more geeky, people is like, I don't care. I have to use too much of my head for that, and I don't want it. So I don't know. We will see. By the way, thanks Matteo for the chat, and we'll catch you later.
Thank you so much for having me.
For
Absolutely, man. Thank you. Bye, guys.
プラズマプロダクションプレゼンツプラズマバースポッドキャスト